I'm Robyn Rocket. I'm chatting to record producer Captiol K about growing up. Did you have an interest in music like when you were in school?
I learned guitar for a bit, but my first instrument was flute. I think, there's that thing when you're at school and they go, oh, you should learn an instrument. I enjoyed music, but it was just something I enjoyed. It wasn't like the kind of number one preoccupation. But I was really into art and making things. I was quite dyslexic, but I was very good at art applications. So I was doing a lot of like jewelry making and pottery and all this sort of stuff. And then I had to change schools, and I went to a school that I think they just weren't very good at art, or the art teacher was a bit oppressive, and it was, be like, today everyone has to draw these flowers, and I'd be like, oh, can I do this and can I do that? And they're like, no. So, and then I realized that the music block, you could just walk in and the storeroom was open and you could just go into a room and play a piano or play the drums. And so I found that the music department was where I could play around rather than, and if I ever went into the art department, it was like, no, you can't use the clay. No, you can't touch the wood. No, you can't do that. And so I kind of, when I was quite young, I stopped messing around. I kind of lost interest in artistic stuff in that way, and then just realized music was fun. But then I really got into music like when I was a bit older, about sort of 17. When I was at the local college, there was a really strong local band scene, and I knew all the older kids and they all had like punk bands. So I kind of just had that thing where I went to college and then immediately joined a punk band, started failing everything and completely gave up on academia.
So did you go from listening to ABBA to listening to punk bands?
No, I had a bridge, which was The Clash. When I was 11, this girl at school gave me a cassette of London Calling by The Clash. That's when I kind of sort of made the leap from ABBA and Blondie into other stuff.
What was it about London Calling that called you?
First of all, the fact that she had given me the cassette, obviously, and then after that, when you hear things and then you're just like, what is that? You can't work it out, And then there's been a few times in life when you hear something and you just can't work out what it is, and then that was always amazing. When I was like 16 or something, we used to record tracks off John Peel on cassette tape. In our lunch breaks and stuff, we would play the cassette tapes of stuff we'd heard on John Peel. It was when grunge was coming in and all that sort of stuff. And there's that band Mudhoney. It was like early Mudhoney releases, and it's just that fuzz guitar, and it just went bleh. And I remember really not liking it. And I remember just going home and listening to this Super Fuzz Big Muff record over and over again, forcing myself to enjoy it, because every time I listened to it, I was just like, but they're singing out of tune and it's all scrappy and it's messy and it's like, but it was such an alien sound, but it was really thrilling. And then even later, that's how I really got into electronic music as well, because I remember when I heard like electronic stuff, like I was just like, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't understand why the drums were so fast. I didn't understand drum programming or anything, but the sounds of these super high pitched fast drums. And I even had it like years and years later, like in 2005 or something, when I suddenly heard all this like experimental cumbia music coming from Latin America. And again, I was like, what is this? I don't understand it. It has such a weird lopsided rhythm. And I've always just been drawn to things that just confuse me in a good way.